Does John McCain have a winning solution? What company is leaving the gas business? And whose company is ready to take on the hurricane season? Stay tuned for all this and more when we come back. Hello, and welcome back to EnergyScout News and Information, your source for breaking energy news. I'm your host, Reb Byers. Today's segment will focus on major producers within the energy industry. And in breaking news, a Republican proposal from Senator John McCain will emerge next week with plans to call for lifting the ban on offshore oil and gas drilling along much of the United States coastline. But this would give states like Florida veto power over opening up their shores. McCain, who plans to unveil his proposal early next week, said lifting the decades-old moratorium should be a very high priority with gas prices soaring. He also stated that allowing states to explore for gas and oil and perhaps providing additional incentives for states to permit exploration off their coast would be very helpful in the short term in resolving our energy crisis. In other news, ExxonMobil Corporation is getting out of the gas business. Actually, just the retail end. Following other major oil companies who've been selling their low-margin stations to gasoline distributors, the Irving-based company is the world's biggest publicly traded oil company and stated now that plans to sell its distributors remains about 820 company-owned stations and another 1,400 outlets operated by dealers. ExxonMobil didn't disclose financial details, but said the sales will take place over a multi-year period. Now let's see what else is happening in the energy industry. Well, it looks like the Thunder Horse isn't out of the race yet. Petroleum giant BP plans to have 4 wells open at its Thunder Horse field in the Gulf of Mexico by the end of the year. The energy company recently started pumping oil and natural gas from an initial well after a 3-year delay. Now, if you remember, Thunder Horse was originally scheduled to come in online in 2005, but Hurricane Dennis struck the platform in July, causing the platform to maintain susceptible damage. Further delays were caused by equipment failures. Thunder Horse has a production capacity of 250,000 barrels of oil per day and is set to hit running in early 2009. Settling down and going domestic, United States oil company Chevron agreed with Kazakhstan on Friday to press ahead with a new domestic oil pipeline due to be part of a broader $3 billion project to link Caspian oil deposits with international markets. Kazakhstan pumps most of its oil through Russia, but it has irritated Moscow in the past years by announcing plans to build more pipelines and diversifying exports towards Western Europe. The new pipeline, due to be built along Kazakhstan's western coast on the Caspian Sea, was discussed this week at a meeting between senior executives of Chevron and Kazakh state oil company Kazmunaygas. And now it's down to business, but first, let's take a look at this week's major leaders and laggards. In oil and gas, crude oil is up $1.07 to $135.08, standing strong at that $130 range. Natural gas is up 19 cents and has finally broken that $13 range to a total of $13.14. Now let's regroup after we take a quick look at this week's mergers and acquisitions. It's strange news today. Lousy drivers and their stinking camels? Take a look.
Traffic. We begin with a one-car, two-hump pileup on a highway in Kolhapur in India. An ugly car-camel collision. The vehicle was totaled. Luckily, the occupants escaped with minor scratches. Sadly, the camel did not make it. Wait a minute, this just in. The camel lives. Run away! Run away! Remarkably, somehow the camel survived the collision.
I just want everybody to know that no animals were hurt during the making of this video. Well, sort of, but the camel is suing for damages. And that's it for today's Energy Headlines. Be sure to check out our website daily for up-to-date rig counts and company information. And remember, if you have any news from around the oil patch, be sure to contact us at EnergyScout.com. Don't forget to join us tomorrow. We will take a look at independent producers within the energy industry. For Energy Scout news and information, I'm your host, Red Byers.
Say, make the day a little better. Say,